She thought she had finally found peace, a man who loved her, protected her, and promised her forever. But behind the diamond ring was a secret so dark, it was buried with his first wife. Now she must choose, walk away quietly, or expose the man she loves, on live television. Vanessa had always dreamed of a fairy tale love, but life had only shown her heartbreak. So when Tony walked into her boutique in a crisp red shirt, smelling of money and mystery, she didn't know her entire world was about to change, forever. He wasn't just handsome. He was intentional. The way he asked about her life, admired her brains, not just her beauty. Within a month, he became her morning, her night, her everything. Tony was perfect, too perfect. No exes, no drama, no family baggage, he said. And every time Vanessa asked about his past, he kissed her lips and whispered, "What matters is the future, baby." Soon, Tony proposed with a 6-carat diamond ring. He got down on one knee, right in front of her boutique, with a crowd watching. Her yes echoed through the streets, but it also woke the ghosts of his past. 3 days after the engagement, a strange woman visited the boutique. She didn't buy anything. She just whispered, "Be careful, he buried his last wife with love too." Then she walked away. Vanessa laughed it off at first. Probably an ex. Or jealous friend. But something in the woman's voice, that tone, it haunted her. That night, she Googled Tony and wife. And what she found, froze her soul. The article was old. Almost buried online. It said Tony's wife, Lola, had drowned during a vacation in Zanzibar. But something was wrong. There were no photos of the body. Just a closed casket. Vanessa's heart shattered, but she didn't confront Tony. Not yet. Instead, she paid a visit to someone else, Tony's older sister, Agatha. A woman known for speaking the truth, even when it burns. Agatha didn't waste words. "I begged him not to marry again. But he's stubborn. You're not the first woman he swept off her feet. But if you want to live, you better walk away while you still can." Vanessa returned home broken, confused, but still in love. She needed proof. Real proof. So she called someone she never thought she'd need, Detective Amos, her cousin. Detective Amos had been in the force for 18 years, seen murderers, liars, and even pastors with blood on their hands. But when he saw Tony's name, his brows rose. Vanessa, this man was once a person of interest in a murder case. Amos dug deeper. And then the report came back, Lola never had an autopsy. Tony arranged a private burial within 24 hours of her so-called drowning. And the death certificate had a forged signature. Vanessa couldn't sleep. She stared at the diamond ring Tony gave her. It now felt like a noose. Was she falling in love with a murderer, or was he just hiding something too painful to talk about? She decided to test him. Over dinner, she asked, "Have you ever truly been in love?" Tony smiled slowly. "Yes. But she died. And that death killed a part of me too." He didn't lie. But he didn't tell her the full truth either. That night, while Tony was in the shower, Vanessa opened his study. She had never been allowed in there. And what she found changed everything. Inside a locked drawer, she found a red envelope. Inside it, photos of Lola. Dozens of them. But not just that, recent photos. Dated just 2 months ago. Vanessa's heart dropped. Lola was alive. Somewhere out there. And Tony knew. He faked her death. But why? What was he hiding? She gave the photos to Detective Amos. "I don't care if he's my soulmate," she whispered, "I won't be the next woman in a closed casket." Amos made calls. And 3 days later, Lola was found, alive and hiding in Kenya under a new identity. When questioned, she said something shocking, "Tony didn't try to kill me. I ran, to escape him." Lola's story was worse than murder. It was control, abuse, manipulation. She said Tony locked her away, staged her death, and used money to erase her existence. "He never loved me. He owned me. Vanessa broke down. The man she thought was her dream was a devil in designer suits. And now she had to make the hardest decision of her life, walk away quietly, or expose him publicly. She chose war. But Vanessa wasn't stupid. She wore a smile, played the part of the perfect fiancé, all while gathering proof. She wanted justice, not just for herself, but for Lola. But Tony was 2 steps ahead. One night, she came home and found the study empty. The photos? Gone. The laptop? Wiped clean. He was watching her. Then came the message. A text. From a hidden number, "Stop digging, or you'll end up just like her." Vanessa's blood turned cold. She ran. In the middle of the night, she packed a small bag and disappeared to Amos' safe house. "It's not just about love anymore," she whispered. "It's about survival." At the safe house, Vanessa couldn't stop shaking. "I loved him," she told Amos. "But the man I loved never existed." Amos nodded. "Then it's time the world sees the man hiding behind the suit." Amos contacted Lola. The 2 women finally met. And when their eyes locked, no words were needed. They saw the same pain, the same survival. Together, they planned the biggest betrayal Tony would never expect, a live exposé. Amos arranged for a TV crew to go undercover. Vanessa would invite Tony to a wedding special interview. Tony arrived in a sharp white suit, smiling like the devil in disguise. "Ready to show the world what a perfect couple we are?" he asked. Vanessa smiled sweetly. "Absolutely." As the cameras rolled, Vanessa answered every question like the perfect bride-to-be. Until the final one. "Is there anything you want to tell Tony on air?" the host asked. Vanessa turned to him, and dropped the bomb. "I want the world to know that this man faked his wife's death. That he controlled her, erased her, and almost did the same to me." Gasps. Screams. Camera lights flickering. Tony's face collapsed. "Lola is alive," she continued. "And she's watching this from a safe place. And I brought a gift for you, Tony." She reached into her purse, and pulled out the forged death certificate. Tony tried to speak. "You don't understand." But the studio doors opened. And Detective Amos walked in, holding an arrest warrant. "You're under arrest for fraud, abuse, and obstruction of justice," Amos said calmly. Tony didn't fight. He just looked at Vanessa, eyes full of something she couldn't name. Fear? Guilt? Or love? The news spread like wildfire. Business tycoon exposed by fiancé in live TV setup. Vanessa trended for days. Some called her brave. Others called her crazy. But she didn't care. Tony's empire crumbled. His properties were seized. Clients pulled out. He was no longer the man who once kissed her under chandeliers. And as for Vanessa, she disappeared from the spotlight. She rejected interviews, declined brand deals. All she wanted was peace. Months passed. One day, she got a letter. No return address. Just 5 words written in neat, dark ink: "I really did love you." She folded the note, smiled sadly, and burned it. Some love stories were meant to die quietly. But life moved on. She opened her own fashion brand. She started a foundation for women escaping controlling relationships. She turned her pain into purpose. One day, she received a bouquet. No card. Just a single red rose. Lola smiled. That's how he used to apologize. Vanessa finally learned, love isn't about diamonds, cars, or charm. It's about peace. And peace doesn't live in secrets. Tony was sentenced to 15 years. He didn't fight the charges. Maybe part of him wanted to be caught. Maybe guilt had finally drowned the lie. Vanessa never visited. Not once. She chose healing. And healing meant closing that chapter forever. Years later, she fell in love again. But this time, with a man who asked about her past, not just her future. Who didn't hide anything. who had no secrets behind his smile. On their wedding day, she wore no diamonds, just a gold band and peace in her heart. Her past didn't disappear. But she learned to live beside it, not beneath it. And as for Lola, she opened a shelter for women like her. Survivors. Warriors. 2 women. 1 predator. But both chose to rise. And in doing so, they lit a path for others to follow. Because some men fake love like business. But real women? They rise from ruin and wear truth like a crown. Some people wear love like perfume, sweet on the outside, poison on the inside. But the ones who survive, like Vanessa, wear truth like a crown. If this story touched you, if it made you feel, think, or cry, then don't just leave. Subscribe and join us again for the next story that might just open your eyes or break your heart in the most unforgettable way.